Airport traffic is today controlled by Mr. Adani simply because he has a relationship with the Prime Minister. I spoke about how the rules were changed so that Mr. Adani could get these airports. Earlier, people who did not have experience in running airports were not allowed to participate, and the rules were changed to allow Mr. Adani to participate. The Niti Aayog, other institutions commented on this and said he should not be allowed, but he was still allowed. A official in Sri Lanka stated in a meeting in Sri Lanka, in a public hearing, that the President of Sri Lanka told him that Mr. Modi had pressurized him to give a contract to Mr. Adani in Sri Lanka. Immediately after the Prime Minister went to Bangladesh, Mr. Adani gets a contract from Bangladesh. Mr. Adani and the Prime Minister go to Australia. The State Bank gives a loan of $1 billion to Mr. Adani for a mining project. The biggest, most strategic airport, Mumbai Airport, is taken over by Mr. Adani after agencies threaten the people who ran the airport. And after I gave this speech, most of my speech was edited out and was not allowed to go on the record of Parliament. Apparently, saying the name Adani and Ambani together is to insult the Prime Minister of India. But you can see pictures of them together all across the internet. You can see the Prime Minister flying in Mr. Adani's plane. You can see him relaxing, laughing with Mr. Adani inside his plane. Mr. Adani travels on delegations with the Prime Minister to foreign countries. He magically arrives in foreign countries when the Prime Minister is there. And nothing that I said was untrue. It is all factual. And anybody can go in the internet, go to Google and ask the questions I have asked, and you will find over there. According to the rules, a speech can be, parts of a speech can be removed from the record if you are saying something without support or if you are insulting someone. I did not insult anybody. I used the kindest language, the most polite language, and everything I said was based on proof. I was asked to show proof with regards to what I said, and I have written a letter to the Speaker with every single point that they have removed and the supporting proof. But I don't expect that my words will be allowed to go on the record. At the same time, the Prime Minister directly insults me. He says, "Why is your name Gandhi and not Nehru?" So the Prime Minister of the country directly insults me, but his words are not taken off the record. But it does not matter because the truth always comes out. And all you had to do was look at my face when I was speaking and look at his face while he was speaking. Look at how many times he drank water, how his hand was shaking when he was drinking water, and you'll understand everything. He doesn't realize the absolute last thing I'm scared of is Narendra Modi. He doesn't realize that the absolute last thing I'm scared of is Narendra Modi. It doesn't matter whether he's the Prime Minister of India, whether he has all the agencies, doesn't matter. Because the truth is not on his side. And one day, he will be forced to face his truth. I'd like to thank all of you. If you get a chance, see the Parliament speech, because it's important that you understand what is going on in the country. It's important that you understand the nexus between the Prime Minister and Mr. Adani. Mr. Adani, there's a list of wealthy people in the world. And in 2014, Mr. Adani was 609th on that list. And from 609th on that list, he became second on the list. He got all the airports, the ports, defense contracts, coal contracts, mining contracts, road contracts, agriculture, every industry Mr. Adani is set to monopolize. There are shell companies abroad that are sending thousands of crores of rupees into India, and nobody knows who these shell companies belong to. The question is, who does this money belong to that is in these shell companies that is coming into India? I asked the Prime Minister some questions. I asked him about his relationship with Mr. Adani. I asked him about how Mr. Adani has grown so fast. The Prime Minister did not answer a single question. His response to my questions was, why are you not called Nehru? Why are you called Gandhi? Because generally, I don't know, maybe Mr. Modi doesn't understand this, but generally in India, our surname is the surname of our father. So I'd like to thank all of you for coming here. It's always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure for me to come here. When I was on the yatra, I said to some journalists in Kashmir that, I felt when I walked into Kashmir that I was coming home. Venugopal is struggling with translation today. I said when I went to Kashmir, I told some of the journalists who asked me, what are you feeling? I said, I'm feeling as if I've come home. But after walking 3,500 kilometers, when I just came back to Wayanad, I'm also feeling as if I came home. I really appreciate that you don't treat me like a political leader, that you treat me like a family member. It's the most valuable thing that you do for me. More important than the votes is that you treat me like family. So thank you very much. And I have to also bring my mother here soon.